Bob Mueller may have indicted Roger Stone for many reasons, but when it comes to witnesses against Stone, the indictment relies on two. A radio host who interviewed Julian Assange, called Person 2, and a conservative author and conspiracy theorist who talked to Stone and is cited over 24 times as Person 1. And that is Mueller witness Jerome Corsi, my next guest. He has been in the news a lot since Stone's arrest on Friday.
On Friday, person number 1 revealed his identity. It is Jerome Corsi.
Stone communicated with conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi.
Asked Jerome Corsi to lie.
Roger Stone says the guy on the right is how he tried to contact Wikileaks. Actually, it was the guy on the left.
The guy on the left has provided 40 hours of testimony to Mueller's team, making him a key witness, according to Mueller in the probe. That's a conclusion we reached on this show before the indictment cited Corsi so much. It's why we interviewed him about his alleged activities regarding Stone, Assange, and Mueller, including Corsi's Wednesday interview that did appear to bother Stone, who you can see right here, posted a picture of the interview with a caption calling Corsi, quote, Judas. Stone posting on Thursday, the same day Mueller was filing a sealed indictment against him based on that same Jerome Corsi, a.k.a. Judas, a.k.a. Person 1. With me is Jerome Corsi. We will refer to you as you are referred to legally as Person 1, not the other name.
I prefer to use my legitimate name, Jerome Corsi.
Thank you for coming back, sir.
Great pleasure, Harry. Thank you.
Given what we see now in the evidence in this indictment, let me ask you point blank, very clear. Are you, in Roger Stone's telling, the actual intermediary to WikiLeaks?
No, I'm not. I don't have any tie to WikiLeaks. I've never, as I've said repeatedly, I've never spoken to Julian Assange, never communicated with him directly or indirectly. And so it's impossible that I be Roger Stone's link to Julian Assange.
Is there anything in here about your dealings that you think is wrong in this indictment?
I think it's entirely correct.
If it's
consistent with my 40 hours testimony.
You gave a lot of testimony. If this is entirely correct, doesn't this state that essentially Roger Stone took what he did with you and then tried to blame it on another person, Person 2?
Well, it sounds like that, but Ari, that's really all I know, and what I'm sticking to.
It does sound like that.
It does, but what I'm sticking to is what I can testify to. And I've said that I'll be willing to testify, and I'm going to tell the truth, and everything that's in that statement, I affirm, is true.
Right. And that goes to your testimony. Let me read from this, because it starts out real simple, which is Roger Stone's accused of bad things and lying about them. But then you get into the details, and here it is. Mueller saying Stone directed Person 1, that's you, not Person 2, to contact the head of WikiLeaks. Person 1, not Person 2, told Stone the word his friend in the embassy plans 2 more dumps. So when Roger Stone was out bragging about his intermediary and access to WikiLeaks, perhaps unbeknownst to you, according to Mueller, he was actually referring to you.
I think that's quite possible. I mean, it's taken me a long time to kind of sort through that, but it does seem to fit together.
And why does Roger lie about all this, according to Mueller?
I just don't know. As I said many times, I failed to take the mind reading course at Harvard. You'll just have to ask Roger.
People always wonder if that's just your way of H-bombing, which means citing Harvard.
No, it's true. I mean, the fact is, I don't know what Roger's thinking. You'll have to ask Roger.
Here is some of what Roger is saying. I want to play this for your benefit. In his Fox News interview, and he's speaking about you, Jerome Corsi. Take a look.
Who do you expect the prosecutor will indict next, if anyone? Where's this going?
Well, I have no idea. They seem to be in hot pursuit of Dr. Jerry Corsi. Dr. Corsi said a number of things about me that are not true, but he says he won't testify against the president. And a research memo that Jerry Corsi wrote me regarding the Podesta's extensive and lucrative business dealings in Russia is not part of a cover-up because no cover-up was required.
Your response?
Well, I don't anticipate being indicted now. I think it's far less likely. The indictment for Roger Stone indicates no wrongdoing on my part. And secondly, if I'm going to be used as a witness, or even if my emails are going to be used as a witness, I don't think it'll serve Mueller's purpose to indict me and undermine my credibility.
So that's very important. You had previously said you were willing to fight this and afraid of dying in jail. You have some foundation for some of that fear because Mueller sent you a written draft indictment.
Which I rejected.
Which you rejected. Now, I could tell you a lot of people, if they get from Bob Mueller a written statement of how they'd be indicted, they would be very concerned. Now tonight, after the Stone indictment comes out, you're saying you think it's less likely that you'll be indicted. Do you have assurances from Mueller's team to that effect?
No, I've heard nothing from Mueller's team. This is my own assessment of the situation. I could be totally wrong. But I think it's much less likely today. When Mueller was really incensed, and one of the prosecutors, Aaron Zelinsky, after I refused to accept the plea deal, told my attorney, David Gray, we'll take it from here. That was the end of November.
And you haven't heard, and your team has not heard from them since?
No, we have not.
Is it accurate in your experience to characterize that what happened was the Mueller team put pressure on you, threatening to indict you, seeking cooperation? You rebuffed any plea offer, but still provided extensive cooperation, and it seems now they're treating you as a cooperating witness. Well, that is to say, treating you well.
Well, I think there's a good logic to that. First of all, I always went in to cooperate. As I said, I provided them everything on a proffer, my computers, my backup, to those computers, cell phones, email accounts, everything. It fell apart in the 40 hours because Mueller was convinced I had to have a link, a tie to Julian Assange. After 20 hours, and I detail this in Silent No More, my book, that in fact, we couldn't find anyone. I certainly couldn't find anyone, searching all my contacts in 2016 and really trying hard to say maybe this person may have indirectly communicated, or didn't know I was getting information from Assange. We finally came up with no one, and David Gray said to Aaron Zelinsky and the others, if you've got anybody, tell us, because I was willing to acknowledge it. Could we see it?
And final question.
Sure.
Do you have evidence or observation that suggests Roger Stone sought WikiLeaks help in timing the release of the emails around the Access Hollywood tape?
I can't prove that at all. I mean, I had one call from Roger, as I recall it. Roger disputes this. On the day that WikiLeaks did begin in October, dropping the final emails on John Podesta, which Roger was essentially saying we've got this timing issue because the Billy Bush tape is going to be released, and we'd like to have Assange begin releasing emails now.
Stone said that to you?
That's my recollection.
And did you tell the Mueller folks that?
Oh, yes. That was.
And were they interested in that?
Absolutely.
Because doesn't that sound like Roger Stone, as a confidant of Donald Trump, explicitly not seeking information, which you can make a reporting defense of, but actually trying to collude with WikiLeaks to release things in a way that would explicitly help the campaign and solve one problem?
Well, there was no one I could contact, and we went through the entire list. As I say in my book, I think I mentioned it to the WorldNet Daily staff meeting that day.
But does that look like attempted collusion?
That's going to be a conclusion the jury's going to come to. What I'm going to do, Ari, is when it comes to that question, if I'm on the stand, I'm going to tell the truth, as I did to the grand jury.
I'm going to fit in a break, sir. If you told the Mueller folks what you just said you did, I could see why Roger Stone is calling you, quote, Judas. Although we are not here, we are reporting on everything we're learning as it comes. I could see why he's upset with you.
Well, I understand, and I, again, resolve my goal here is not to please Roger Stone, is to testify with the truth to the best of my ability, and that's what I'm going to do, regardless where the chips may fall.
Understood. A Mueller witness in the news right now, a person number one, Dr. Jerome Corsi. Thank you for coming on The Beat.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.